Time to weigh in. I'm going to do that again. I think that was wrong. That's a little light for me. I think I'm more around 167 at this point, just based off of what I know from my body composition. In the past, I have gotten DEXA scans done, and scans singular, actually. It was because I wasn't sure how to proceed with my weight loss and my fitness routine. When you have all of that loose skin, it obscures a lot of the visual indicators of whether or not you're going in the right direction. You can fluctuate really rapidly when you have loose skin and not necessarily understand why. Again, because of the lack of visual cues. So if you have a lot of sodium in you or sugar, you might be bloated if you've just had a heavy meal, if you haven't used the bathroom in a little while, all of that stuff and the vagueness of, the loose skin, at least for me, made it really impossible for me to visualize and say, hey, this is where I am, this is where I need to go. I got a DEXA scan. I was a little bit leaner then. I was 99th percentile for leanness for my age group. I was born in the 80s, if you would like to do some math. That measured my overall composition at 12.9%. The thing about DEXA scans, though, and the thing about that scan in particular, I think I was actually leaner than that. At that point, I had almost full definition of both of my top two abdominal muscles, with the bottom being obscured by the loose skin and the pinning effect of the belly button just being so shriveled. My arms, according to the scan, were in the 10% range. My total body was at the 12.9% range, with my abdomen showing a cross-section that was actually wider than my physical structure. When you take a DEXA scan, it's a plane. It's not like an MRI that encompasses you and can get depth about your body. It's taking a two-dimensional... Where's it going? The two-dimensional scanning didn't take into account all of the looseness and the sag that I had around my waist, so that amplified, that added to weight that I wouldn't say was indicative of my body fat percent at that time. At 10%, my arms had a ton of vascularity. Right now, I would need to pump them a little bit and get better lighting. I could still get a little, so that's what leads me to believe I'm at the 13 to 14% mark. Actually, pull this down, pull the underwear off, and drop this down for a sec. Alright, I think this is like a good side view. So here I'm in a pretty, I would say, relaxed position, but definitely still like flexing downwards, not super much so. I'm not like trying to strike a pose. You can see a little bit of just where the incision swelling just starts to really bump out there. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on to settle down through this. But normally, I don't know if you can see very well, so this is me flexing a little bit more. You can see going down my leg, the thickest part of my thigh used to be roughly the width of the profile of my waist. From this angle, there's a lot of swelling. I can't overstate that enough. This hold, or the tummy tuck rather, and the tension from it, pulled the skin upward here. It did pull up my junk. It tightened coming into the V shape. There was a little bit of a taper that the surgeon was able to do to create that effect. Back, oh, we haven't done the back yet. So I'm just going to do a quick 360. Front. Side. You can see the swelling. and kind of just lack of definition overall. I have no idea how the back looks right now. That is my butt crack, I'm sorry. So this is like a squat position. This is like a pseudo squat position. I'm not sure how much visibility there is of anything there. Coming around with the drain port. Random thoughts. Swelling. I can't overstate enough how horrible the swelling was just with the skin removal and the lipo, not even necessarily the muscle repair. When you cut open an incision like that, you're cutting your lymphatic system, and those waste fluids really have nowhere to go and drain, so they build up. You wear a compression garment that tries to prevent swelling and things from building up inside, and you have the tubes that are suction bulbs that are designed to remove that excess, whatever it is, mixture. That swelling is so pronounced. I read that it was terrible. I wasn't ready for it. At day 2, and let's see if I have the patience to do this. This is me at day 2. This was another tummy tuck at day 2. This is her at month 2. The difference between those, I mean, you can see it. Crazy, right? And then 2 years beneath that. I'm still in the process of waiting to see what my final result's going to be. I'm not going to know for a couple months. I think most people say the final result is in the 2 to 3 month mark if you do fairly well with the healing process. Mine's been really painless so far. Also, like I said, no muscle repair. I can squat and kind of keep this area unflexed when I want to while still exercising my back. Oh. My whole story. I was overweight my entire life. I was really the only overweight one in my family. I had a really unhealthy relationship with food. I was still active when I was younger, but I was big. I remember being 180 pounds in 7th grade. 6th grade, sorry. Middle school. And being 5'2", maybe. My heaviest known weight was 257. My highest weight was probably right around 270, because at some point you look on the scale and, at least in my experience, you just stopped looking at the scale for a little while. So highest was 270. Lowest I got down to was 157. The 157 was after I was completely dehydrated. I got a bug at work that kept me under for like 4 days. I woke up one morning. I sweated out the fever, but I lost so much water. 157 pounds, and I'm 6 feet tall. I lost all the weight through diet and exercise. I didn't get a band put in. I didn't get a gastric surgery. Lost all of it through that. I lost most of the weight in the first 9 months, I would say. The rest of it was things like weight training and just continuing to kind of work. I started on my 29th birthday because at that point I was so big that I needed to sleep on my side in order to breathe without my heart getting too stressed at night. I won't lie, there's also the vanity aspect of losing weight. Bad word. Is it? I don't know. I still struggle sometimes with that. But you get what I mean, right? There's that aspect. The looks aspect. I thought I was diabetic when I lost the weight and I went to a new primary care physician. He was almost in disbelief until I showed him my stretch marks that I could be diabetic, 6 foot tall, 170 pounds. I'm not sure that 165 is right. Yeah. There were reasons for my eating, some within my control, some not within my control. At the end of the day, though, it didn't really matter. I was still suffering the health consequences of an extra 100 pounds on my joints, eating things that were taxing my body, not exercising. It might have started out as this really haphazard idea, but I did it in a way that was really simple. I just wrote down a list of things that I wanted to change about myself. And that was one of them. Still working on a couple of the others. I reinvented myself for the most part. I have a little cousin who I hadn't seen in a couple years. He was probably 10, and then I saw him the next time at 13 in my weight loss. No idea who I was. People can't believe my driver's license photo. Sometimes I can't either. It's really shameful for me in a lot of ways. Not because I was big at that point, but because I didn't care for myself, and that was very evident. So that was some of the other things that I worked with in tandem on this whole weight loss journey. What does it feel like afterwards? I felt really calm and really peaceful and really fortunate that I had, one, the resources and the ability in my life at that point to dedicate myself to becoming healthier, and then I had the resources to get the skin removal surgery, the tummy tuck done. My goal, I'm not like super ripped. My goal, at least compared to the dudes who are like, anyway, it really wasn't about that. It was feeling like I was a different person on the inside that I was seeing every morning on the outside. I still might not feel that way when all of this swelling goes down and the scar heals, but I feel good about it now. I feel peaceful and tranquil. I feel like my body's the way it should. I don't feel things hanging off of me right now. Like I'm constantly wearing a baggy sweater under my clothes all the time. I used to do this thing where I would pinch my folds and stretch them. Weird things like that. It was just a reminder to me of things that I felt I couldn't change. And I would say, suffering in an acute sense, but it weighs on you. It weighs on you a lot. If you have any questions, reach out.